Yes, guys, welcome back to Cossy Podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to a brand new video. We take on FC Porto this evening at 11 p.m. African Standard Time. And the big question is, how will Mikel Arteta set up? How do we set up against this flying FC Porto side? Now, they're really doing very well. They've won a couple of games on the bounce. They've beaten Benfica, a key rival for them in the league, 5-0. That was actually very, very triumphant. But as well, in the last game, they've won 3-0. That means that we've got to treat them with respect. They do score a couple of goals, but then they create a couple of chances as well. And you look at the clean sheets they are actually ramping up. A clean sheet against Arsenal, a clean sheet against Benfica, and then a clean sheet against Portimonense recently. It means Porto are actually not a bad side themselves. We might not give them the credit they deserve, and probably we might think Arsenal are really superior and better, and we have the home advantage, but that doesn't mean that Porto are not a good side. So as we dive into this video, we need to select a starting 11 that Arsenal can trust, that Mikel Arteta can put out there, and we can trust them. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let's dive into the 11 players we can trust to do the job at the Emirates Stadium this evening against FC Porto. Now, in goal, let's go with David Raya. I think he only played against Brentford because he's on loan from there, and we've not made the deal permanent. And I think if you're an Arsenal fan, really, what we saw in that game was an inconsistency. We saw inconsistencies in Ramsdale, and I don't really blame Ramsdale a lot. I mean, I saw a couple of people coming out and blaming on Ramsdale. I really don't blame him that much. I think if you're a goalkeeper and you've not played football in that long, it's bound to happen. So I'm going to go with David Raya because David Raya allows this Arsenal team to go as high up the pitch as we want. He's a very confident sweeper keeper, but then he also channels that kind of confidence around the team. You look at the likes of William Saliba, Gabriel, they will go forward, they will do whatever they want to do, knowing at the back of their mind they've got a good goalkeeper, they've got a good sweeper goalkeeper who can actually clean his lines and also clear their lines as well. So I've gone with David Raya back in goal. I missed him over the weekend. I thought Arsenal really have a bigger advantage and better advantage as well when he is in goal, but I thought Ramsdale, terrific. Purely terrific. Yes, the goal, I don't think you clean off that off your record, but in the rest of the game, his distribution, I thought Leandro Trossard should have scored, in my opinion. If he had the pace, if it was Gabriel Martinelli, that should have been a goal. And then the two terrific saves he makes, I think one is like a header 6 yards, into the penalty area. He's got to score that. And then the Ivan Toney beauty, that again, Ramsdale meets with a lot of quality as well. So I don't think Ramsdale had a bad game of the weekend, but let's go with David Raya back in goal. Okay, in defense, I think it's now a no-brainer. We have one pairing that you can actually trust, and that is Gabriel at left centre back, who's been very good for Arsenal. We've got to give him his flowers. And William Saliba, who everyone likes, really. I think everyone trusts William Saliba. Even the rival fans, when you ask them who is the best player, who is the best defender at Arsenal, they'll tell you it's Gabriel and it is William Saliba. So William Saliba and Gabriel at centre-back pairing, I don't think there is anyone who'd actually oppose that. And I think the job for these two in this game is actually going to be making sure that Arsenal have enough numbers in the FC Porto have, and they've done it well ever since this year started, and they've been really extra careful but also extra helpful in terms of making sure that Jorginho takes on a higher advanced position, same as Declan Rice and same as Martin Odegaard. So where you have your number 6, usually you have William Saliba and Gabriel covering that space, and that pushes Arsenal a little bit further forward. So I won't be surprised to see Saliba really high up the pitch and Gabriel Magalhaes really high up the pitch as well. But then the other thing we have seen with Gabriel and Saliba is the fact that they score a lot of set piece goals as a pairing, and this is something that Arsenal could need to capitalize on. So in the first game, We didn't really create good chances, I don't want to lie. But also it was because of the brilliance of FC Porto. They studied our game. Now, they know we are good at set pieces, and they know we are very good at dead ball situations. But that is the beauty of having tall, huge guys like William Saliba and Gabriel McGallis, that when you cannot score from maybe 6 yards or 10 yards inside the penalty area, maybe you could go with those aerial balls. Maybe you could pose the area threat, and then maybe things could actually work out. So at right back, I think Ben White has been in absolute tantalizing form, assisting twice when Arsenal were beating Brentford over the weekend by 2-1. And I thought the deliveries in that game were absolutely exquisite. I still think Arsenal should play Jakub Kiwior. I'm not really sure if I'm the only one thinking this way, but I thought Jakub Kiwior this year has been exceptional. And why I think Kiwior should play is he allows us play a back three because it's kind of more of a traditional left back stroke centre back. So he allows us to play in this kind of system. We have 3 centre backs in Kiwior, Gabriel and Saliba, and that allows Benjamin White to tack inside and do the business just like he did it against Brentford. So I think that the major role for our right back and left back today, it's going to be making sure that Arsenal gets quality deliveries into the penalty area. And that is something that really disturbed us last 2 weeks ago. Right? It was about the service delivery. It wasn't really about Porto knowing every Arsenal move. I think they were brilliant. Really good. But again, they didn't know every Arsenal move. I don't think they actually did. But what they did in that game was to make sure that they cover for any quality Arsenal produces, and they get lucky with the bad quality that we actually showed. And yes, we did show bad quality, and yes, we failed to create the beauty we wanted, or the beauty everyone knows that we are actually capable of, the quality that we've been producing for the last 6, 7, 8 games in the Premier League, right? So I'm going to say this: these two, Kiwior and White, have been crossing the ball into the penalty area a lot. I like that. I really, really do. I think it makes our fullbacks a little bit more reliable, but also a very useful tool. You look at clubs like Bayer Leverkusen in the German Bundesliga, and you look at players like Frimpong and the left back there. They are really creating good chances. They are really scoring a couple of goals. And with Arsenal pinning in, defenses like that and pinning teams like that, maybe it's high time our right backs and left backs started creating some good chances. And I think that is what we saw from Ben White over the weekend. Now, in midfield, there will be a small debate whether Kai Havertz drops here because Kai Havertz's best position has been really up top. When I did my video earlier on, I said this, on the Cossy Arsenal channel. You could go watch it. I said I would play Kai Havertz in midfield, but there's no reason to play him in midfield, yet he's been really, really fire playing up top, and everyone will agree with me here, right? So let's go with Declan Rice. I think Declan is going to be key in this game. I love the way he actually runs off the ball these days, especially with Jorginho in the side. I love the way he's scoring goals for fun, and I love the way that he's kind of that surprise element that teams are actually not prepared for. When Kai Havertz plays up top, he gives you that physical ability and physical advantage of defenders, and I think that has actually worked out very well. But with Declan Rice arriving in the penalty area, this guy is this tall, is really, really tall. So when him making those off-ball runs and arriving in the penalty area a little bit late, and then heading down those headers, that is something that FC Porto and any other team are actually going to struggle with, because he's more profiled as a number 6. The other thing, of course, Declan Rice is going to provide us with is that defensive assurance. I don't think Jorginho should play in this game. I'm really skeptical about it. I want Arsenal to go for it. And I think with Declan Rice, the beauty about him is that he gives you that offensive output, and then he gives you the defensive quality. So if we can maximize the defensive quality from him, well and good, let's definitely go and do that. But if we cannot maximize it, then I don't have a problem. I would rather see Declan Rice and Jorginho in the same team as well. So alongside him, And this is a little bit, crazy, but I'll do it. I'll still do it anyway. I would love to see Leandro Trossard play in this game alongside Declan Rice. I think Trossard has been really, really good for us as a signing since last January. And then Martin Odegaard, who's been in very, very good form for us as well, creating a couple of chances, scoring a couple of goals. He feels like himself again. And I think the withdrawal of Kai Havertz from that midfield has made Martin Odegaard a much better player. But also, playing Kai Havertz up top has allowed Martin Odegaard to exercise his duty as a creative player. I don't think he's necessarily playing as a number 10 behind Kai. I don't think that's how it's actually working. I think you can see that our right-hand side is actually creating a lot of chances. So I think his partnership with Ben White and Saka has been extra useful and phenomenal, but not as a number 10. I think creatively he's actually doing well. He's really, really doing very, very well, especially in the Premier League. And his form is back on. So this is the midfield three I would love to see. The only problem with this is when you exclude a player like Jorginho, it might kill Declan Rice's confidence in going forward, and it will kill his ability to go and get himself into risky areas. Now we've seen him play as a left number 8, and this is gonna be decided in the summer probably. If Arsenal go and sign a Martin Zubimendi, whose profile is exactly as Partey and Jorginho, more like Jorginho actually, then it means that Declan Rice's future as Arsenal is at left number 8. But then if we go out there and sign in number 8, couple of options that we could look at. Maybe Gilles Brandt is one player I really, really like a lot. Maybe, I don't know, Ryan Gravenberch, Frankie de Jong. So if Arsenal go and sign that kind of caliber, I don't see us going for a Frankie de Jong at left number 8, but I see us going for a Frankie de Jong at number 6 at the best of midfield, because again he sprinkles the passes a lot, and he's a very, very good passer of the ball. So that is the midfield. No Jorginho for me. Declan Rice, Trossard and Odegaard, they can get the job done. I'm really, really sure they can get the job done. Now, Gabriel Martinelli is ruled out of this game. Unfortunately, I think if you're an Arsenal fan, this is actually very, very bad news. But on the left wing, I was thinking something like this, right? Gabriel Jesus replacing Leandro Trossard there. Now, why I don't want Leandro Trossard to play on the left wing? We saw it clearly in the Brentford game over the weekend. What we saw is Ramsdale trying to release that ball a little bit quicker. And therefore, you need two players that have terrific speed, one to carry the ball, and the other to either act as a decoy or even get in the penalty area a little bit earlier and finish off the chance, the chance that will be created by the runner. And I think Trossard doesn't have that pace. He doesn't have that ability to run past everyone and then have the guts to finish. He's quite a very good finisher. And that's why I want Gabriel Jesus here. But then the other reason why I want Gabriel Jesus in on this side, he can make the pitch bigger. I don't think he's as direct when he plays in wide areas like Saka, but he will make the pitch bigger, and he's got the ability to beat his man. So he'll take you to the byline, and he will actually beat you from there. So I would love to see Gabriel Jesus left wing in this game now that Gabriel Martinelli is not available. At centre forward, I think it's now pretty obvious, right? I think Kai has been phenomenal. Phenomenal is the one. I don't think there is a better term to describe this guy. He has been disgusting. Very good. And we said it when we had signed him. Of course, he was never going to become a saint. He was never going to become that one player that comes in and gives Arsenal fans whatever we wanted. But one thing I remember that we said is he will give Arsenal that aerial ability, and he will give Arsenal an aerial target man, and he's actually done that very, very well, especially in games where you feel Gabriel Jesus is not the guy for you. Liverpool probably, Sheffield United as well. I think Kai Havertz has been really, 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 really very good, and his ability to play in different areas of the pitch in the same game, That is the reason why Mikel Arteta likes him, and that's the reason that you've got to get used to him, because I don't think Kai is going away anytime soon. Now, to complete it off is, of course, Bukayo Saka, who I think, listen, Saka is clutch, and I think Saka will score today. I said it's going to be a 3-1 victory for Arsenal. Won't be surprised if it goes 2-2, to 2-0, or even 2-1, or even 4-1, because Arsenal have got the capability to do all that. But one thing that will not surprise me as well, Saka's goal. I think he will have 2 goal contributions in this game. He will have an assist for an own goal, and then he will score. And then the third goal, I might go with Gabriel Jesus. He's been lightning quick in the Champions League, and he's been very, very good in the Champions League for us as well this campaign. So that is my starting 11. Right in goal, a back 4 of Kivio, Gabriel, Saliba, and White. Rice, Odegaard, and Trossard in midfield. Gabriel Jesus to deputize the injured Gabriel Martinelli. Saka and Kai Havertz retain their positions from the lineups last weekend. Let me know what you think about it. And the Cossy Arsenal podcast is definitely back. People missed it, and I had to bring it back. I really, really had to. Speak to you right in the next one.